down. Firemen were passing us going up. They were stopping approximately every 10 or 20 stories, given the heat of the stairwell and the amount of gear that they were wearing. Burn victims were also being passed down as they were making it down. Fortunately, we did have electricity, and there was good air in the stairwell, and we exited through the concourse at the bottom of the building. There were tons of emergency personnel from the DEA to the FBI to the police and firemen leading us out. The concourse level, the elevator banks were collapsed. The stainless steel doors were caved in. The marble panels in the elevator bank and the main lobby floor were falling off the walls. There was about 6 inches of water on the floor in the lobby. And as we exited out the building, we exited to Church Street. I was out for approximately 30 seconds right next to the Century 21. We heard a crackling, and that's when the first tower crashed down. There was a stampede of people that were running away from the towers. There was a cloud of white debris and smoke that was, if you will, chasing us as we were going down the street. We ducked into a building. We would then realize that we may be in line for the second building if it was going to fall. We exited that building. I made it to the Brooklyn Bridge, and at that point heard the same crackling, turned around, and that's when the first World Trade Center building fell.
My goodness, Scott, how many people were with you? You keep saying we, a pack of 10, or how many?
The stairwell, as far as you could see, was packed with people.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone on my floor, approximately 120 people, were evacuated. They were in the stairwell. I was one of the last people on my floor to leave. Just the stairwell was people backed up to people for as far as you could see down.
Scott, I'm struck by how matter of fact, and I'm sure you are in shock right now about what's happened. Can you take us into the building, into that stairwell, in the moments following the impact, and tell me what were people doing, what was going through your mind?
Immediately after the impact, we went out to get to the stairwell. The carpeting on my floor was on fire. There were people screaming from what appeared to be the elevator bank. When we went to the first stairwell, there was commotion. People were running as hard as they could going down, but they reached a point and someone made the good choice of, there's just too much smoke, we're not going to run through this. And that's when we turned around and came back upstairs. People at that point, their faces were covered with the black smoke. Someone had called, actually, one of the people on my floor, someone had called her relative who actually used to work for the MTA and said, the only concern you have is the smoke. These buildings are not going to collapse.
Oh.
So the great news was there was not panic in the stairwell as we were exiting the building. The lights were on. The firemen were very helpful. They were cheering people on. They actually used their axes to break open the vending machines and passed out the water and the juices and whatever it was. It was very hot in the stairwell, but fortunately the lights...
The way there's a bomb on board that flight, so it is chaos in the skies for those flights that were already in the air. Other flights have been grounded